Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Heart and Soul Show, where we talk to real people about real issues and we talk about real things. My name is Clifton Johnson, and I am your host. Now, coming up on today's show, we are going to talk about all pastors need a side chick. I'm going to let that marinate for a moment and say it again. All pastors need a side chick. Whew, I know everybody's wondering, like, Cliff, what the hell are you talking about? Everybody, we're going to chop it up because it's a lot going on in this world today, and we're going to chop it up. We're going to chop it up, and I think, and I know, at the end of this podcast, a lot of you all that don't agree with me will agree with what I'm talking about. But first, before we get started, I do have some announcements to give. We do have a new stage play that's coming to Oklahoma City. It's going to be June the 8th. That's Saturday, June the 8th, 2024 at 7:30 p.m. That's June the 8th, 2024 at 7:30 p.m. We will be at the, I almost forgot the name of the theater. Y'all, I'm just so excited about this podcast because I haven't been on in a while. But it's going to be at the Hudibird Performing Arts Theater in Oklahoma City. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful facility. And y'all, we're going back to the basics. That's where I started, and that's where it's going to be, June the 8th, 2024. But if you want tickets, please visit my website, cliftonjohnsonproductions.com, or you can go to the civiccenter.com in Oklahoma City and buy the tickets as well. Everybody, it's going down. That's all I'm telling you. And we also have a new movie, and it's the same movie. It's just part 2 of the show that we're doing. And the show is called, because I didn't tell y'all that, it's called A Mother's Confession, The Ultimate Betrayal. So we're going to have a stage play that's going to be part 1, and we're going to have the movie that's going to be part 2. You all are going to enjoy this show June the 8th, and then we're going to have the movie. Right after that, we're going to start shooting the movie. I'm just so excited, everybody. I mean, a lot of things that I've been talking about for a while is coming to fruition. So I just want to invite you all just to follow me. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to go down, but I'm not going to waste a lot of time talking about that, because we're going to get into this topic, everybody, because it's hot, hot, hot. All right, everybody, let's chop this thing on up. All pastors need a side chick. First of all, everybody, like I said before, I'm not crazy. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm talking about. But, let me say this. With everything that has happened in this world, from T.D. Jakes to the pastor up in Mississippi or Alabama, one of the two, with his side chick walking in, talking about, starting stuff with the first lady and all that stuff like that. I mean, why not? I mean, come on, let's be honest for just a second. With these days and times that we live in, see, I'm talking to all the older generation that don't quite understand what's going on. Well, I'm gonna tell you something. There's nothing new up under the sun. It was happening back then, and it's happening now. So I really don't understand why people have a problem with it, because they have been doing this thing since the beginning of time. Come on now. Listen, I wouldn't be telling y'all or saying these things about pastors at all if I didn't see it with my own eyes. I'm just being honest. I know tons and tons and tons and tons of pastors, preachers, elders, evangelists, etc. And also, what's that? Ministers of music and deacons and all of that. I know them. But I'm going to tell you a quick story. I knew this pastor and first lady. I know them very, very, very well. I was very close to them. Well, all of a sudden, they just broke up. Nobody seemed to know really what was going on, what happened, who did this, who did that, if he was wrong, if she was wrong. Well, I'm going to tell you first, they both were wrong. And I'm going to tell you why they both were wrong. They were both wrong because they tried to keep this away from everybody that was involved. I'm talking about the entire church. And the story goes like this. Okay. They had a church, pretty big church, pretty nice sized church, members, a lot of tithe paying, all the above. Church was moving in a very, very strong direction to be a mega church. I mean, I'm just going to be straight up honest. Well, but this is the thing. There was an agreement that was made between the both of them. So the man, the pastor, the guy, he never told me these things. But see, I found out these things from the woman, from the first lady. So one day I happened to see her. I was out and I happened to see her. And we just got to talking, reminiscing about old times and church people and all that stuff. We got to laughing. So at that point, I knew that I completely won her trust. So I had to ask. I said, listen, man, you got to tell me what happened between you and your husband. Why come you all aren't together anymore? He's living a whole nother life and you're living a whole nother life. She waited a long time before she spoke because you could tell that she was getting very, very emotional about everything, you know. And so she was just like, okay, I'm going to tell you exactly what happened. She said, him and I had an agreement. I said, okay, an agreement on what level? She said, I knew about his side chicks. I knew about the other women that he was, women that he was sleeping with. I knew about his other children outside of our marriage. She said, I knew about all that. She said, but I told him, I said, listen, I understand where you are. I understand why you do the things you do. She said, but if you can promise me these things, that I will always be number one. You will always take care of me and my home and my needs. And I don't have to want for anything. I will keep your little secret a secret. So I said, wait a minute. So you telling me that you let him have his side chick and some, all if he just agrees to take care of you and your home and you don't want for anything? You don't have to work, do any of that? She said, yes. I said, how can you do something like that? She told me, she said, Cliff, a lot of first ladies do that very same thing. They're not going to give up their lifestyle and how they are moving in life to just settle for nothing, just to become an average person. She said, we earned that. She said, I earned that to be taken care of because I put up with a lot of stuff. Let me tell you something. I was blown away. I was speechless. My mouth was completely open, just like it is now, because I can't even believe that I'm telling y'all that. And that's why I won't tell y'all who that person is. They're very, very known, very, very, well known, well connected, especially in the Midwest where I'm at. Well, I was just like, but that doesn't make sense. She said, listen, she said, most women that is in my place would have done the same thing and are doing the same thing. She said, I can't tell you how many first ladies I know. This is what she's telling me, that she knows that are doing that very same thing. I said, well, you never took a side guy and you never took. She said, no. She said, because the only person I ever wanted was him. I said, but why would you give him exactly what he wants? She said, because he was doing it anyway. And she said, I didn't want him to get exposed because if he gets exposed, I get exposed. I said, now that makes a lot of sense. So she said, that's why I did it. And she said, and a lot of other women or first ladies are doing the same thing. So I know everybody's saying, okay, so if she agreed to keep everything just between them, then what happened? Well, it should be obvious. The pastor started taking better care of his side chick and his other responsibilities to her instead of taking care of the main source, which was the first lady. So what he did, he broke the pleasure contract he had with the first lady. It should be obvious. He broke the pleasure contract. He went off script. See, let me tell you something. That evil ass that he was tearing up every night, talking about the side chick, it became too good to him. And so he just said, well, forget the first lady. And so she was like, okay, you can forget me, but you're going to forget this lifestyle that you actually have and that I helped you build. A woman scorn is what broke them up and what breaks up a lot of first ladies and pastors if they have that pleasure contract in place. These pastors are now, in these days and time, and even the older ones, but the younger ones especially, the younger ones, middle-aged pastors, they are rock stars. I can say that, and it sounds funny, but they are rock stars. They got private jets, they got cars, they got houses, they got finances, they have resources, they have everything that a rock star has. And let me tell you what they also got. They got women. They got women out the ass, because let me tell you something. These women out here today don't give a damn about the first lady. Only thing they care about is getting the driblets from the man, the pastor. And on top of that, he's very charismatic. He know what to say. I mean, pimps. I ain't saying that about all pastors, but my point is this. Those women will give up that ass to that man. They're going to offer that man that ass. And I'm going to tell you something. A lot of men are going to take it. They might not take it on the first lady. They might not take it on the second. But there's going to be one woman. There's going to be one woman out of all the women that throw themselves at these pastors that he's going to be like, fuck it. I'm going to tear that ass up. I've heard pastors and preachers, ministers, whatever, say these things. I was just a minister of music. I was a musician, singer, and I got so much ass thrown at me, it will make your head spin. So I can only imagine about a pastor that's up there and he has the attention of everybody. And he got money. And he got all those things that a lot of people dream about having. You tell me ain't one woman out there, because the churches are full of women. The churches are 90% women. They're 90% women because women are emotional. A lot of men be like, I don't want to hear that bullshit. That's bullshit. He pimping you. So then they don't care. So a lot of men is not going to come. I'm just being honest. Let me tell you something. Greenleaf, the series Greenleaf, that was the best show to show you what these churches are like today. I'm talking about these mega churches. When you got finance, money, and resources at your disposal, that was a great show. I really wish Oprah would bring that show back. Some kind of way. Oprah, I'll do the writing for you. Because that show was amazing. It depicts everything that is going on in the church today. Everything. I mean, what can I say, y'all? I mean, it was such a good show. Everybody listen. What was brung out in that show I'm gonna tell you something. It made a lot of sense to me. I mean, it did. I'm holding y'all. I'm trying to get my mic right. But I'm telling you, it made a lot of sense to me because I seen it. I seen the sex, money, drugs, alcohol, all that. I knew of a guy that told me this, and I could not believe he did it. I was going to a church, and he had keys to the pastor's office. And he went in the office, him and his little side chick at church. And he beat her ass up while the preacher was on the pulpit. He bust his girl, his little side chick at church, his side piece. He bust her down in the pastor's office while the pastor was on the pulpit preaching. And that's the same thing that happened in Greenleaf. My point is this, everybody, and I'm going to end it. I'm going to end it. I think that's enough. But my point is this. If you're going to have, I'm talking about pastors and the first ladies, if you're going to have a pleasure contract with your wife, meaning that, okay, I do what I do, you do what you do, we keep it a secret, we don't tell nobody, so that way we can keep getting this money. If you're going to have a pleasure contract with the first lady, listen, make sure your stuff is together. That's the main thing. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm telling you, the lady that I was just telling you about, her and her husband, of course, they don't have the church no more. They went their separate ways. They're not married. You know what I'm saying? The church was just in a disarray because we none of us could believe what the hell was going on. She exposed his ass to the 10th power. It didn't even have to be like that. If it's about money, let it be about money. If it's really about saving souls, helping people, then let that be what it's about. Because, I'm going to tell you something, and this is the last thing I'm going to say. Pastors like what I just told you about, they make it hard for good people that really just want to help people. I've said this many times. They make it hard for the good churches that's out there. And there are good churches. They're not all bad. I'm going to say that's a very small percentage. Because once that is something about, when you get that money, once that money start coming in, it's hard. Look at Joel Osteen. Prime example. Nobody's seen it coming. Nobody's seen Joel Osteen and his wife breaking up. Nobody's seen it. Now, I don't necessarily know all the details. I don't really think it was about women or anything like that, but it was about money. That was the main issue. So it happens, everybody. And they had a mega church. So, but anyway, everybody, I'm going to end it. I think I've talked enough. We're going to have part 2 to this. I'm just saying we're going to have part 2. But I do want to invite everybody out to come out to the stage play A Mother's Confession, The Ultimate Betrayal, Saturday, June the 8th at the Hudeberg Performing Arts Center in Oklahoma City. Please come out. Please visit my website, CliftonJohnsonProductions.com. That's www.CliftonJohnsonProductions.com. You can buy tickets there. You can buy my books there. You can listen to the podcast. You can see what's coming up. You can see all my other flyers about my other shows and different things like that. And, just hit me up. If you just want to hit me up, leave me a message. Please leave me a message. Please stay in touch with Clifton Johnson. We are doing things. We are going places. We got a movie coming out very soon, right after the play. It's going down, everybody. But this is the Heart and Soul Show, where we talk to real people about real issues and we talk about real things. Everybody, you all take care.